The gates that were once sealed by Alexander the Great are now open. We know that one of the things he did when he conquered the East was that he got rid of the Nephilim, Genesis giant abominable races, as written and evidenced by Saint Antony of Crete. As we know, Alexander had historians and scientists with him. Every day they were noting what was going on. And he did have, this is a depiction of the ancient Greeks doing away with the Cyclops. Now he did away with most of them. The ones he couldn't do anything with, he threw down pits and covered up the holes with various metals and built pyramids over them. Now, what are we saying here? I'm translating from a Greek article. There are many texts that prove that Alexander the Great closed and sealed gates in Asia, behind which and inside the earth imprisoned the filthy and reptilians, Genesis giants, Nephilim. Kindly support my Patreon account since YouTube has again demonetized my YouTube channel. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below. As we know, the Old Testament of the Holy Bible in Genesis says there were giants in the earth in those days, and even after that. Even after the flood, there were giants. And we have giants that were in the time of King David, about 1000 BC. Alexander the Great lived about 700 years after King David, about 330 BC. And there was also, in the book of David, Archangel Gabriel gave a prophecy about the little horn that would do away with the big horn, that is the Persian Empire, coming from the north, that is from northern Greece. Alexander the Great is what he was referring to. Now, when Alexander the Great went to Israel and then Egypt, he did go to the Temple of Solomon, and the high priest there did read him the prophecy concerning him given to the prophet Daniel while in exile in Babylon by the Archangel Gabriel. So all this is, we know, has a divine intervention of God's salvation plan having to do with our history. Now, he opened up these gates. He sealed them with special metal that supposedly is toxic to these beings, and he built pyramids above them. But now it seems that the key that opens them, these gates, has been found. This key seems to be strong earthquakes. On April 25th in 2015, a strong earthquake of 7.9 magnitude Richter shook Nepal. We know that that's when a lot of the mountain climbers were lost there because of that. On December 7th, 2015, Central Asia, India, and Pakistan were shaken by another powerful earthquake, this time 7.2 magnitude, centered in Tajikistan, while it seems that there were no casualties. Now, the central role, the role that played in these areas is something called Arnos Petra, the Arnos Rock, which seems to be a huge dimensional channel through which the separatist forces move. We also combine the information that today in various parts of Asia, the gates that Alexander the Great had sealed during his campaign have been opened, and inanimate anthropomorphic entities are emerging from these pits, which strengthen the forces of the various wild and untamed tribes. And they carry out the well-known atrocities in the the Middle East. Forces from the parent ship Pegasus are constantly intervening, but there are many thousands leaving, it says here. If this is all true, then the distancing forces utilize underground faults, upward paths, or even subsidence. In other words, they use geological forces caused by strong seismic vibrations to find passages to the surface, large-scale earthquakes are likely to be caused by CERN as well, some people believe. I've translated this from a Greek article. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support.